And the last game we're going to have here today and could potentially decide the fate of Beast Coast, either getting themselves stuck in some tiebreakers or advancing directly into group stage number 2. So a lot on the line here. And it's going to be on the back of an Alchemist safe lane. And if there's any carry where you're, feeling like it might be okay to put a lot of pressure on the back of them, Alchemist, pretty strong. Pretty strong.
Very strong here with some early timings now, especially with a buff to Radiance. So pretty sure Hector's just going to be queuing that up, and he does have it on hand in his item queue. Good position here to force something out too, but they both have wards in good spots here.
I wonder, they might offlane the Alchemist into the Pudge lane. Oh, the nice 2-hero curse. Mickey gonna get caught by the tag team. Not a lot of armor on Pudge. Not historically known for having that. And they will just slowly give the first blood on over to Alk instead. Okay, they aren't gonna offlane it, but they will just walk their way back top. As K1's gonna be very happy about that. They do end up losing out on some of the bounty runes, but Alk doesn't have that Grievous Creed anyway, so not the end of the world.
Yeah, it's not too painful. We're pretty happy with that start for Beast Coast. Of course, this lane for Hector is going to be fairly annoying. Impetus can just give free pot shots at the Alk, and it doesn't feel like you trade all that well as the Silencer up against that. You can slow down the spam with your Arcane Curse, however, so it's pretty fine. There is still some ways to prevent that from just being overwhelming. That is until Boxy's just constantly on the Silencer. That's where things can go south for Stinger, so have to see how well I think that Liquid can run that. If they apply that pressure early on, it can slow down the Alk timings just a bit, and slow Alk timings just feel awful.
Mid lane, we're going to have Dark Mage. Ooh, bottom lane, they get the Frostbite into the hook. Always a classic. So this is something that is a little bit scary. And top lane, Silencer just being dove underneath the tower here by Boxy. He tries to double tree plant to dodge this out, and it does not quite work. And K1 is really far down the lane as well. I mean, K1 might just die here. I think he's just going to go for some CS. Come back to the lane. Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen.
Better luck next time.
I mean, what can you do? You know, the Impetus pot shots are pretty painful for the Alchemist. And when Ricky runs down your support, you just can't do much. Although down bot.
A little bit of a trade, but I mean, definitely favorable here as Sacred gets the solo kill onto Mickey. Doesn't have to split the XP. Meanwhile, mid, Dark Mage, nice dodge on the Remnant, but taking a lot of damage from Nisha. And there's the Blink Strike in from Boxy. Is they will be able to run him down. The Ricky getting super active already this game as he's looking to try and die for the bottle. And Boxy will end up just dying to the tower instead.
Yeah. Just fading out a little bit. You're still happy with that movement out from Ricky. Overall, a really strong early game coming out from Liquid this time. And maybe a little bit more passive out from Beast Coast. 7 kills at 2.5 minutes in. It's what you like to see. This is a game of Dota.
I love it, dude. I'm so glad we're seeing some fast-paced stuff. Now, again, bottom lane. You get the hook out. Tag team doing a lot of work here as they're trying to finish off Insania, but they have a Frostbite coming off cooldown in a moment. And we'll hold it, though. No, you don't. Dude, these side lanes are so deadly.
They are. Like they've got a lot of kill potential, mainly on the off lanes for both sides. Maybe a little bit more for Liquid safe lane in comparison to Beast Coast top. I think you don't really expect the Alk Silencer to really gun for kills here, but for sure down bot, like Mika with the levels can start to connect. They aren't really able to find too many angles with Frostbite into hook. It is fairly hard considering how close to the creep wave they play here. Ooh.
Sometimes you hook your own creep is bottom lane. They're going to turn it around. They get the kill onto that Crystal Maiden. Is now Mickey trying to make his way under the tower, and he's going to be fine with the stick. But top lane, you get a kill onto Alk once again, and Stinger getting ran down here to the tower. Does have Impetus trying to chase for Stinger. Boxy looks like he's going to give up his life once again happily for that one. And this is some more aggression coming through as a Slide of Fist does connect, but Nisha does connect onto the Remnant, and the high ground comes through. He gets the kill. Bottom lane, more kills. What is happening, dude? We are 4 minutes in.
4 minutes in, 8 to 6 already. 14 kills on the board. You gotta love it. And yeah, these exchanges are just feeling a lot better for Liquid. You've got this really good start coming out for Nisha, and it does feel like, yeah, I honestly don't think it's as favored for either side in comparison. Like, I do think it's easier to play the Ember, but the Storm, like a very skilled Storm, can still run you down. Like, you still have that good double overload time that can just be overwhelming. They finally tried to get Stinger in, but he doesn't see the opportunity for the kill. And these losses on your Alk is really the big issue. All stemming from this support Ricky that just constantly runs down the silencer, and all the output from Impetus maxed out. 3-0-2 for Zai.
Yeah, absolutely. They're going to try and turn around, maybe find a kill here on a Boxy, but the damage from Zai is just too much. He pops a stick. He's got the healing tricks of the trade to buy himself some time. Is this just another series of kills? It is 10-6 now. None of these lanes going all that great. I mean, I guess bottom lane's going okay, but I mean, mid lane is a disaster. Nisha over a full level in front of Dark Mago here. He's forced to go 3 points in the Flame Guard.
No.
And that just doesn't feel good for Ember. Like, you really do want to play with early Sleight of Fist. I feel like that's just the best build for the hero right now. With your timing into Phase Boots and even just a Blightstone or the full Orb of Corrosion, you do so much in these fights. And Flame Guard just doesn't feel as good for burst. Sustained fight, sure, but the reason you get here is really just that defense against the Storm, and even that doesn't feel like it's doing enough. So Liquid just on top of things. Your bot lane as well for Sacred isn't winning hard enough to compensate for how badly your Alk lane is going. So you're just going to have to really stall for Hector to go into that Radiance timing, flash farm, and get what he needs to have that presence. But Liquid will have answers at that. Like, you have no solution for Zai now at 6. He's not gonna melt at all. You don't have magical burst to finish him off with the untouchable.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a little bit worried because I think Nisha is going to be the one that could blow this game open for Liquid. Like, you're going to have an Alk that can recover almost guaranteed, right? They're making stacks in the jungle for him. He's going to be able to get a Radiance eventually. But if Nisha gets his item timings and the levels he needs to start being able to just solo kill this Alk in the jungle or potentially, like, just kill this Ember Spirit over and over, I feel like that's like your win condition almost for Liquid. You're just slowing down K1 that way. Bottom lane, a more aggression coming through as Insania will die here to Sacred as Schofield trades for Mickey. He does have the Vanguard completed now on the pledge, so a lot stronger than he was just a few minutes ago. And another kill onto the Alk. There it is.
Yeah, it's not great to see that for Hector. Like, he's just not able to farm. He's just being stalked. Guy doesn't need to join in. He just needs to keep running down, keep being a nuisance. And this start for Beast Coast is worrying. They aren't too far behind on paper, but look at the farm distribution. Nisha's number 1, Sacred's number 2, Zai and Mikke are up there. Dark Mag was severely behind. Like, this Ember timings are just so key for the play on Beast Coast. He's the one that is going to have to run around the map, and he's just not ready as Nisha going out with the smoke. You talked about the early timings for Nisha as well. He has the Falcon Blade up. He could just go for a very fast Witchblade and he's set.
I mean, Alk TP top, they know he's here, so they are just going to try and dive this tower. Like, the smoke's going to pop. Nisha's going to start scouting here in a moment. The question is, will they find him? They don't know. He's dug his way through the trees further in, and this might end up benefiting Beast Coast as they're starting to rotate bottom now. But this ward will scout this rotation. Stinger as well as Schofield gets scouted, and Mortimer Kisses able to connect. So they're just going to focus onto the tier 1 top instead as Dark Mago tries to push in mid.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Get a little bit of a shove going. Does have the full Orb of Corrosion up, so there's some damage to come through. They'll try here though.
Top lane, or bottom lane rather. Nisha TP's in. Man, dude, Alk had a full like stack and a half of creeps and had to back off because Boxy showed up and left them all at like almost no HP.
Yeah, it's a toughie. Have to play so safe, Dark Mago.
they have the chainsaw onto the Storm Spirit? I really doubt it. I mean, maybe they can, but the silence is there, and Sania just gets dove instead, so you managed to find something. And this curse from Stinger, man. It's only level 2, still really annoying to play around.
Yeah, he's just severely under-leveled on the silencer at 9 minutes in. This is a rough feeling for the Beast Coast supports, but
Dark Mega
enough
mid.
to do its job.
In some trouble. Yeah, he's gonna get picked off once again. I think just a good read. They had this ward right at the outpost that scouted him walking mid, and just TP immediately on this Riki.
Radiant's bottom
Pick
tower
off.
is
We
under
don't have a
attack.
solution for the silence coming out here, so you'll just get run down. Look at Zai. He's just free to keep farming top. Like, he has not joined anything. He has not left his lane. He's just farming.
He's going
gonna have an Orchid. It's gonna be scary. More catch for the Storm. More ways to just pin down this Alchemist until defensive items are up. You have no solution here.
Oh, nice look from Mickey. Mortimer Kisses are coming through, and with the rotation from Dark Mago as well, they will find that kill. The question is, can they get out? Foxy rotating in. Schofield's gonna help find him. He gets that Link Strike out, down to the low ground. He's gonna be fine, but Dark Mago looking to chase. The cookie on forward does trap Insania. So we'll look for the Crystal Maiden, and Dark Mago gets the slight change on Denisha. I don't think he can get to the rune in time. The shard block, he gets over the wall.
Oh, God.
He's gonna be safe. Very close there.
Dire's middle tower has been denied.
They still find the mid. I mean, it's denied off by Stinger, but just the objective being gone opens up so much. And how is Zai getting away with just being solo? Like, these ghosts just don't even bother hunting down that inch just because most of their damage is right click. Like, they don't really have the big spells unless you commit your kisses out. Boxy?
He's trying to get away here, but the snowball from Schofield will be able to help secure it. You're still pretty far off the Radiance from the Alk, right? Like, you're 11 minutes in. He doesn't even have 5k net worth. It's been a rough game for K1 so far. The Alk, only 2 points in the Grievel's Greed, though. So he's gonna start, like, he's gonna start catching up, or rather, you know, surpassing some of these other cores here eventually. For the moment, a little sad. Hook comes through, does at least pull Schofield out of the way, and Cookie over to the far side will stop Mickey as he trying to just turn around, bring down this Pudge, and a nice smokescreen in from Boxy. Might allow Mickey to get out. Nah, Slight Chains ends up catching two. Instead, in comes the Storm Spirit. Nisha, beautifully done, will able to help find Sacred, but can he get the kill? He does. Trades at the very end. Snowball comes on through. The Walrus punches there. Can they get Insania? It's so close, but not enough. Nice rotation in from the Storm, helping salvage that team fight.
Yeah, it's just a little bit scrappy for Beast Coast. Like, they still managed to get the bigger kill in slowing down Mika. So I think you're overall happy. Mika is bottom network 4. And you don't lose Dark Mago, but Sacred is up there in net worth. It is going to feel a little bit better about just building up on Nisha. We talk about those timings on him. And the Witchblade doesn't look too far off for him if he wants to go for it. He only has a Blitz Knuckles just
looking for Zai. Huge kill here. The Mortimer Kisses do get canceled onto the backside. They do have the damage, and Nisha needs to be careful. Does have an illusion rune to play with. Oh, a beautiful freezing field in from Insania. Can they cancel it? It's going to be the Alchemist that finally does. His Dark Mago needs to get out of here. And Boxy, he's still hunting to drop the sentry. Can he survive? The Snowball's going to buy out the space, and he's out. Boxy gets punished for that one. A beautiful hold there from Beast Coast. They get 2 kills. And the Enchantress is the big one.
Yeah, finally getting some punishment out onto Zai, who's just been AFK farming up top. Okay, that's one massive kill to allow himself to get back in game. And you know what? The recovery for Hector is there. Number 2 in net worth, only behind the Storm. Grievel's Greed now at level 3. Radiant's not too far off. Like, this is him ramping up. As long as he doesn't get picked up, he will start to hit that mark on the Alk and start scaling up now from this point forward. Side of Liquid, it does feel like you'd want to see them just maintain aggression. And like, you have the full Witchblade along with a Falcon Blade onto Nisha. It would be really cool if that was like an SMY, but it would be too strong. But I digress. It's the big spike for the Storm now. So you can sustain a lot more, you can go around with the damage. We've seen Nisha do a lot with the Storm already. East Coast are opting for a smoke play.
They can find Nisha, it'd be huge. The global silence is there, and that's a great kill. They find Nisha. Can they turn it into more, though?
Radiant's middle tower
Sania?
is under attack.
Ooh, he's looking for the frostbite into hook, and Mickey's like, nah, man, I'm out. I'm going to hook you to safety as well. Alk just gets soloed by Zai. That's the Orchid reveal.
That is not good.
Nature
You find a storm, yes, but your Alk needs a gold lead. And so far, every single time, Hector's been denied from getting to that point. We just talked about it. Just work towards your Radiance, not get picked off. But he feels safe top, doesn't recognize that item timing out from Zai, and the punishment is immediate from Zai himself. Have nothing to dispel. You just melt the impetus damage. It's really just starting to stack up. And for Beast Coast now, and it's not dire straits, but when you have an Alchemist at 15 minutes in and you don't have the network lead, even though it's only a small margin that you're behind, it's not a good sign. Like, this here is, it just needs to be the hyper carry with early item advantages, and at this point, you can still hit that, but you need to not bleed out any further for at least 2 to 5 minutes here.
Yeah, I mean, he just really needed the Radiance. He does have it completed now, clearing up an Ancient stack, as well as some extra creep. So this will get him, you know, closer and closer to that BKB, which is absolutely essential now that he does have that Orchid. But the evasion does go a long way as well, so this might keep him alive in the next engagement. Dark comes out mid lane. He ends up getting the invis off of the smoke screen, preventing the snowball. Schofield trying to find an opening, but he just can't. The freezing field just destroying them. Stinger gonna try and TP on out. He should be able to. As Boxy, he's got another dart. They find the Snapfire, no hook for another 9 seconds, but he's just got to make his way onto the tower. It does connect into a nice dismember. They're going to buy back into the snowball. They might be able to turn this around onto Mickey, but he's just too damn tanky. They've got way too much damage coming out from Zai.
That worked. Utility coming through. Like the smoke screen to break up that snowball save was there, but there was an angle outside and then just the instant Orchid out from Zai. He's just using this to stop anything from coming from the East Coast, even in that re-engage as well. It's just way too much. And Dark Mago is playing with fire here.
This is my problem with this Ember Spear pick, is like you saw this Storm mid. It's like I thought they would just pick Dark Mago, a more favorable matchup. It is a really good Ember game in general, like outside of that. But then the Riki comes out and suddenly you're just like, well shit, you know, like this is gonna be hard.
Yeah, there's no easy game when the Riki's on hand for the Ember. It's challenging for sure. Like the fact that he was also forced to just go all in on the Flame Guard, so you're playing a little bit more passive, just trying to farm. You don't really have any big connections with your Searing Chains for stuns as well, unless you'll try to risk it with a cookie. It's a little bit less reliable on those movements out for Beast Coast. It's just all in on kind of hitting these timings with Hecker, and he does have a network lead now. So he is a good 1.2k ahead, starting to ramp up. BKB timing for him should open up the game more and still try for a smoke play.
They drop the Sentry Science, comes down to the mid lane on the touch. They try to cookie him away. The Global Science is there to turn it. Maybe they can get the kill onto Nisha. So Walrus Punch is there. Plenty of damage inside. This is the big boy. If they can find... He just kills Stinger. He just doesn't care. The Mortimer Kisses should help clean up the Enchantress, but... My goodness, Zai just giga-chatting up this game. Insania will get dove here. Alchemist finds that kill. Finally, Beast Coast finding an opening as the dust is still here onto Boxy. Do they have the damage? It looks like it. Okay, it ends up being 4 the mid tower as well. And Pudge farming towards that Ag still. He's not having a good time.
Yeah, it's been slow going for Mika. We talked about how painful the game was for K1. Mika has had a rougher time. Like, his bot lane was not the best. We saw a lot of aggression out from Beast Coast there, and they've done a great job of just suppressing Mika. You know, they're just ensuring that he's not going to be eating as much as he possibly could want to. His Ags is still sneaking up. That timing can still be a little bit scary, but it does feel like you've got the damage to deal with a Pudge. Your main issue is really just Nisha and Zai. Like, if this Storm and if this Enchantress are left alone with a Riki running around, that's where trouble starts to really sprout up for Beast Coast. But as of yet, I don't think the Pudge is a major factor. So you're all right with just kind of leaving him alone for a little bit longer. 22-22 at 19 minutes in here, Ricky. Ooh,
I love
what
Dota, man.
madness is
This
this?
is 44 kills in sub 20 minutes. This is great. The BKB's done here on the K1 as he's closing out on his Blink Dagger. And this is kind of the timing you're waiting for, right? You need this initiation from this Alchemist where he can just go in, kill these heroes, not really worry about a whole lot. Bottom lane, Nisha does get silenced up, stunned underneath the tower. I don't think he really cares all that much. He's going to have to back on out eventually. There is a smoke rotation here. They're going to hope to maybe find this Storm Spirit hiding in the trees, but it doesn't look like they will be able to.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Still hanging around here, though.
Is under attack.
TP is off cooldown now. He'll actually cut the creep wave without any punishment.
Yeah, Stinger's trying, I guess, all around the tower.
Radiant's
Doesn't even find the last hit,
Look at the
unfortunately.
smoke around. They know they're going right into Roche. They see this. The slight chains and patches. Insania, the Mortimer kisses are just raining from the backside. And Boxy's got to help find him to stop this. The global silence is there. They can't get the smoke screen. But Dark Mago took a lot of damage from this Pudge already. And Boxy throws the dart. He will take down the Ricky. A lot of ultimates committed from Beast Coast here. You only get this support. Like, it's actually not that bad from Liquid.
Not the worst thing in the world. They stall out this Roche rush with the Ags timing up on Mike. And that from coming out comfortably. The Ricky being down is also a big part to enable Dark Mago to just play his game while his BKB's not quite up. Oh, the hook!
Hooked. Beautiful play there from Mickey. They just smoke immediately. They look top as Enchantress in some trouble. Schofield walks in, gets the Walrus Punch, but ends up just dying to the summons. And finally, here comes the Alk. It eventually helps burn him down. Stinger gets the kill, awarded with a little bit of intellect as well. But in comes Liquid. They're looking for the Alk. He's got a BKB to play with. The slight chains are there as they might turn around on Tanisha and stay Insania. Needs to be very careful as Mickey comes in, gets the rot, just bursts down this Emperor Spirit. It's Insania. We'll channel that freezing field. They blink away. It's going to be a big win from Liquid. They managed to secure 4 kills across the map.
It works out in their favor massively.
Yeah.
On the reset, you're not going to be able to go Roche just yet, but you're building up so many stacks on Mickey after that slower game. When he Ags up with 10 stacks of a Flesh Heap, he's a lot tankier. He does so much more damage now as well. And for Beast Coast, it's still a matter of growing bigger on the Elk. 4K lead is present. Blink BKB is up. Trying to go for the Mage Slayer next for a little bit more durability coming out here. And no, he's actually just skipping. Going for the full plate mode, which I respect as well. I think your big issue is still Zai if he's left alone to get free hits. Like, he's just going to come out with a surprise Hurricane Pike soon. That's where things can get really scary for the Elk. Once the BKB fades, you are just going to get pummeled down by the impetus, and it is not a great feeling. Like, even the AC is not going to help you there. The mischance might, but with a Hurricane Pike, it probably won't.
We'll see indeed.
Radiant's
Roshan
bottom
definitely
tower
is
is
something
under
that like
attack.
Liquid is ideally looking for right now. Like if they can get this, it would be huge in these fights. Obviously, Aegis for Storm is amazing.
Radiant's
But
bottom tower is under attack.
Beast Coast, I mean, the read on it last time was really smart. The question is, if they can do that
Top
again.
tower is under attack.
Gets a little bit
Radiant
harder
are
with this
scanning.
blink up on Mika, so you can just jump in and
Radiant's
get
bottom
instant
tower
control
is
out.
under attack.
This point still stands though, as
Dire's
long as
top
Stinger
tower
has global
is under
silence, that
attack.
play is just completely removed from the game. So you'd have to kind of bait out global silence first, but Stinger's been really patient with when he uses that now, knowing that the Pudge is a threat. Liquid's vision is damn nice though. They've
Yeah,
got
it
really
is.
good wards up here in the jungle, so they know when Beast Coast is running around for a kill and they just back off, wasting some time from Beast Coast when they want to widen this lead. And just not getting opportunities. They're able to farm much more effectively, knowing that Beast Coast on the clump up, so they're using the map well. They're splitting up. They're rushing that
Dire's
build up. Full
bottom
Hurricane
tower
Pike
is
up
under
for Zai
attack.
into the BKB. Oxy's just scouting around. He is under vision.
Yeah, was under vision and managed to jump away. So they know that there's going to be some wards behind them here on Beast Coast. Like there's no way he would just like run away like that. So they're going to start trying to figure things out. Bottom lane, will self-stun again as he TP'd in to maybe try and find a cheeky play there on Denisha.
A little bit optimistic. Although
Top lane.
Dark Mago,
They've got Dark Mago for sure. That is just way too much damage coming out from the Inch. They even popped the Global Sciences mid lane. They jumped onto Sacred as well. He's already popped the Guardians and Nisha. We'll just jump on through. The Alk goes bottom. Liquid collapses all on top of Beast Coast. It's going to be 4 now as a beautiful hook from Mickey finds the Tusk as well. Huge wins, as now that's just going to lead right into that Roshan.
that's the opening they need for that objective take. And Beast Coast just showing themselves a little bit too much, still not taking care of these wards that Liquid has. The constant vision is just hurting them. Full BKB up on Nisha now, so Global Sound's not going to feel as potent if he saves that usage. The Roshan just melts Zai's output on top of Nika's Rod. It's just too much. 2 lives on Nisha, very hard here to pin down. East Coast, it just doesn't feel like they've gotten enough with K1 just yet. Like full AC is up, going through the Abyssal right after that. That could still be a turning point, but outside of this Alk farm, Sacred and Dark Mago have been sacrificed way too much to get that going. Like, look at the even distribution on Liquid. Nisha, Mikke, and Zai, all at 13.6 or roundabouts there, with Zai lagging slightly behind. Like it feels like you do so much more when your cores are equally farmed in comparison to just having one hyper-farmed core, at least in this game so far.
Yeah, they definitely recovered on Mickey's Pudge like quite a bit because he was struggling. He was the 6th net worth in the cores probably up until about the 15 to 18 minute mark. He did have a really slow Aghanim Scepter, but he's been given a lot of space recently to kind of recover. And the downside is everyone's been having to baby K1. Like they have to just kind of sit around and wait to find something. Do they see Boxy, dude? He's actually just underneath the trees. There's the Walrus Punch. He was hiding in a little cubby, but they got a glimpse of him for a moment. But yeah, K1, like they had to just kind of all sit around him and watch him farm so he could get to these item times. He's got that AC completed, but Dark Mago with his BKB, maybe we see some plays out from him here as they're looking for Mickey's Pudge. As he makes it to his tier 2 tower instead, they do not find him.
Nighttime vision just kind of ruining that movement out as the smoke broke. Nice little blip up and run down from Mikke. On the side of Liquid, 2k lead up against the Alchemist. It doesn't sound like much, but you have to remember, it's the Alchemist. He's at 20k and there's still 2k ahead on Liquid. Farm distribution's just hurting the side of Beast Coast because of that babysitting. The investment can still pay off, but the game becomes really hard to execute on considering this gap. It's just difficult for Dark Mago and for Sacred to get as much done. I like that Sacred is already queuing up the Chrysalis, so he is just trying to rush up to that level 20, but he's still a long ways off from that. He's 15 right now. That's 5 levels of talents you have to wait for.
Yeah, absolutely. And Liquid, again, just smoking up, wanting to get active. They're going to find Stinger on the backside as beautiful ward, scouting that one out. The BKB comes out from the Ember Spirit. Schofield will be able to save him with a nice snowball. It's Insania channeling that freezing field. Dark Mago should be able to help find the kill, but K1, huge stun under 3. The Cookie connects as well.
What?
They're gone, baby. A massive play there from the Alk is now they've just got to find the storm. Nisha has his BKB, going to be forced to use it to escape. So nicely done there from Beast Coast. Nisha, just a few moments left here. They had as well. K1 unable to chase. It's a slight change, just slightly off the mark.
That is massive for Beast Coast. They take that fight without their silencer as well, so no global sounds to even do much in there. But the BKB reveal from Dark Mago is more than enough for them to get that opportunity. A couple of key items that came out as well. Zai has his BKB, so he's going to be comfier in the middle of that kind of engagement. Again, all down how Stinger manages to use global sounds, or if he doesn't, then how do you manage to bait out and wait out some of these BKBs?
The Schofield with the self-stun, in some trouble here. Orchid will catch Snapfire. Perfectly timed enchant there. That was actually pretty cool.
They don't manage to find much more, but just finding himself a cheeky Schofield kill, not the worst thing. It's been a little bit challenging for Hector to follow through from this movement out. Like, he has the blink, but he's been preemptively using the unstable quite a fair bit. And it just means that if he doesn't see himself coming in, he actually just backs off. It probably wasn't a fight they'd win that way, though. But if they find this weird positions for Liquid where they're just mega clumped up, that's when you can really shine on the Alk. You get that AoE unstable under the acid spray. It's a heck of a lot of damage for the spell.
Yeah,
like the
it really
minus
is.
armor just stacks up. Along with the AC minus armor, it's actually surprisingly a very effective move. Especially with that talent, plus 400 damage. With all the minus armor, ooh, that's nasty.
I'm just kind of surprised he went for that. That's not something I really see all that often. Like the BAT reduction on the Chemical Rage is honestly really good. But yeah, 400 more max damage. That's 760 damage.
760 physical.
Yeah, physical damage.
You have -7 on acid spray, -5 on the AC, -12 armor. That's a huge amp on that spell. It scales pretty dumb.
There's no armor builders
so
on the side of Liquid, right? Like, you have an Alk who needs to get a Lotus Orb or a Shiva's, and, you know, Storm just has his Agi gain, same with the Enchantress. That's about it. Lane, looking to try and get aggressive here. Boxy will get scouted by the sentry, so just back away. They pop the drums and they run.
Dire's bottom
Mid lane,
tower is under
working.
attack.
Just go. They're fine. Another concoction thrown ends up finding the Storm Spirit. The Abyssal Blade is there, but there's no follow-up. And on the other side of the fight, they cap Sacred. That's the big opening. He's going to buy back into this game. It's a trade as the Ricky will die, and Stinger pops the Global Silence now as the BKBs have already been spent. This could give them a moment, but the pike damage, Dark Mago can't dodge it out. A huge win for Zai as Stinger just isolated out. Alchemist starting to burn down here, trying to finish off the storm. The Mortimer Kisses will help him do it as he gets the Blink to safety. Buybacks galore. 4 spent in this fight as they gotta look for more. Dart once again to buy some space. Mick gets the hook, finds Sacred instead. That's going to be a dieback. The freezing field is there. Not what you want. The snowball on through. K1 needs to get out. The damage here from this Enchantress is way too much, and it's not going to work. The buyback this time from Nisha leads into some more kills as now Dark Mago has to get out. You got no remnants left at Boxy, though. Finds him with the dart. The hook into the perfect time dismember, and that is it, man. Diebacks on 2 cores, a 7 for 3, I think.
Yeah, it pretty much is. A huge win coming out for Liquid. It looked a little bit rocky. It felt like beastcoast were finding more, and then they just kind of overchased. They get punished for going back in. That cookie save onto the Alk, probably worse for Sacred more than anything else. He wanted to get one out of the way, but just opened himself up, and that instant dieback, just not a good feeling. Being able to take this objective rather quickly as well. The respawns are still a ways off. Gonna have Sacred up, but he doesn't have Kisses on that spawn. And there's really not much scope for the team to stop this on himself.
No, not really at all. I mean, they could move for top, but they will just back away, which I think makes a lot of sense. You get a massive advantage in this game. I mean, it was dead even before this fight, you know, in terms of net worth. We were within only a couple hundred gold, but now an 8k gold lead for Liquid as they just take the mid lane of Barracks and can now kind of take over the map as well. They have the gem finished on Insania, which he did steal from beastcoast in this last fight.
You're feeling good right now on Liquid. beastcoast, though, they'll try to dip outside once more with the smoke. They're queuing up the Ags on Hector as well, so have a little bit more coming out from him with the bonus damage. It's Spell Amp. Gift it over to Sacred, or, you know, just Dark Mago down the line, but doesn't look like their smoke's going to be effective again. Liquid just backs out at a time. I am keen to see this, though. Like, Ags on Alk. It was buffed a little bit, so you don't need to have the Ags on yourself, right? So you still get the active feeding someone else.
Yeah, I just don't know who you give it to. Like, do you just play for high ground defense with Tusk and just give him the Walrus kick and try and like bait heroes in? Like, is that your actual play here?
You know what? That's probably the best. I was thinking of more like either Sacred or Dark Magos, the Snapfire or Embers coming out. Ember Shard, Ember Ags kind of feels good. There's more mobility, dance around, juke around, try to make some plays. And for Sacred, it's a little bit of a save. So you have some way of saving someone that's being dismembered. we'll see down the line as Liquid. They're going for their own smoke play now.
Radiant are scanning.
It's a really good intercept here if they can manage to find anything. The
Radiant's
scan
top
is
tower
off the
is under
mark, but
attack.
Dark Mago might get caught here. They just blink this member up the silencer, no one to save him, and Schofield gets caught as well. He's going to be able to try and find Dark Mago. The BKB comes out, he gets the Remnant up to the high ground, so he's going to be fine, and Schofield not going to be as lucky. This is, of course, just really good rotations from Liquid. They have that newly finished Aghanim Scepter on Storm Spirit as well. So multi-hero vortexes are going to be the name of the game here for Liquid.
The mini black holes online. It's a lot to have done. In fact, that combination with Smokescreen on top is devastating, especially if you catch them out with their BKBs down. It's going to be really painful coming out here from Liquid. Beast Coast, they're being shoved away. I mean, at this point, again, relying on the Ags is going to be a little bit funky. Like, you do have some good Ags pickers, but it feels like you need a lot of them to have Ags. So you need Hector to farm a lot of that up. But I'm keen to see that Spell Amp, though. The bonus damage feels nice. The Spell Amp is kind of good. Like, 2 Ags, 10% without eating up a slot. It is expensive, mind you, but you are an alchemist, so that shouldn't be an issue.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, the Spell Amp could be kind of funny with Concoction as well, so we'll see.
Yeah.
I mean, 10% is, like you said, a lot of damage, but he's pretty far away from it. He still doesn't even have his first Aghanim Scepter. They're really trying to get him to it. At this point, it's either got to be the Ember Spirit or Tusk. I think now that Ember has Kaya Sanj, they will probably give it to him, just so that he has this extra damage that he can bring to these fights. It is really important. Like, it is a huge upgrade for an Ember Spirit to get an Aghanim Scepter.
This allows you to make some big plays to keep trying to stall the game. Like, you can try to pick off the backline a lot more as well. Be a big part, and again, just playing the stall game, make it uncomfy for Liquid to kind of come in. Without the Ricky around, they lose a fair bit of control, though.
There's the instant vortex, the smoke screen as well. They get him with the nice snowball save. The BKB comes out, and he's out. Schofield, cheeky little force staff. That was cool. Does end up costing the global silence, though, as a result. So he gives his life for the Ember Spirit, and with a pretty minimal commitment from Liquid once again, right? It's just Dismember.
Not the longest cooldown spell. It's a little bit interesting. I do forget you can cast spells and snowballs.
K1
So I hooked him out.
in trouble. Gets hooked up, dismembered again. He gets the BKB actually instead. The question is, can he actually get out of here? He's going to continue to get chased through these trees. He gets stunned up as the Orchid comes out from Zai. They've caught Silencer as well. They do not stop. The Arcane Rune giving Nisha so much mobility.
Oh boy. We've got the Sproink coming out as well from Zai. That is actually such an annoying spell to deal with. It is a ton of damage. So much damage. These guys will just melt when the BKBs are down. You have a fresh Axe finished up on the Alk, but that leaves him with no buyback as well. So a free set of racks coming out for Liquid. Maybe just even onto the tier 4s if we were to have confidence here.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to pop the Mortimer Kisses here to try and slow things down, but you're not clearing up a creep wave or anything. Like, Enchantress like still has her own creeps. There's creeps in mid, so they're fine. Just a slight stall tactic, but not much getting out of it. You have the Bloodstone finished up on Nikke as well. I mean, you're not a lot of armor, but still super tanky. He's sitting at 4,100 HP on this Pudge, and having that Bloodstone active is always nice.
He's just going to be able to sustain himself so much in the front line. East Coast, they hang on here. So they managed to stall for more time. They can gift this Ags out. We'll finally see who gets that blessing first. 5% more spell damage. Not the most. 25 damage as well. Yeah, not the most considering a 4.2k item, but the upgrade on Dark Mago could turn the tide at this point. Maybe even Schofield. Although he doesn't have the blink, so I guess you can't get the kickback. Roche comes out for free for Liquid. No big surprise there. Free Shard coming out for Mika as well. So a much lower cooldown Dismember. Way more uptime. Save potential now online as well for Mika.
Yeah, absolutely. So the fact that you could potentially just save a hero, like in a situation where, you know, if they manage to like burst down this Storm Spirit or something, is pretty huge. Well, Illusion did see them smoke, I think, in K1. A little bit worried about self-stunning himself again. He's got the overwhelming blink queued up. Sacred has his own Ags queued up. It's getting to a point where you're kind of grasping for anything here on the side of Beast Coast. Like, they don't have, like, an opening. Every single hero on the side of Liquid is so dang hard to catch.
It's just too slippery. The Ricky, the Storm, hard to pin down.
Oh, they jump in aggressively. Mickey, the hook ends up connecting on a Boxy, unfortunately, as they're looking for Schofield, but Invis will protect them. Super aggressive blink up onto the high ground, and behind the tower, they're looking for Schofield. It will just be a trade for the supports, but Mickey goes in, finds Dark Mago, gets to dismember. The Global Signs comes through. K1 trying to just run onto this Pudge. A reflected Abyssal Blade. He's got a BKB, but he doesn't. He never gets it off. Dark Mago on the backside trying to kill Insania, but he's just too tanky. He's got that shard protecting him. He continues to channel that freezing field, and another silence comes through from Zai. Just bursts right through Dark Mago, and it's Mickey crushing these heroes up onto the high ground. The GG comes out, and that is going to be a nice win for Liquid. Reminding everyone why they are #1 in the groups.
This time around, they have a solid draft. They don't get any surprises.